We are living in the era of major pandemic, which is SARS-CoV-19 virus, a virus that some suspect to have been transferred from a bat to a person in Wuhan. While some believe this is to be true, others believe there is a huge conspiracy around COVID-19 and that there are chances this virus was created in a lab. In this video, I won't be discussing that, rather 10 such viruses which were created or altered in a lab. So keep watching till the end. But before getting started, I do have a small request. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and press the bell icon for future videos. Also, don't forget to press the like button. It will help me a lot. Well, now that the formalities are done, let's get started. Horsebox, created by scientists at University of Alberta, is a lethal virus closely related to equally deadly smallpox. Unlike smallpox, horsebox does not affect humans and is only fatal to horses. The scientists created the virus during a 6-month study sponsored by pharmaceutical company Tonics. The study caused a dilemma at the time it was revealed. Other scientists were concerned that governments or even terrorists could use the knowledge to create smallpox virus for biological weapons. A smallpox epidemic could become deadly for us today. We no longer get vaccinated for it because we eradicated the disease in 1980. The researchers clarified that they created the virus because they wanted to develop improved smallpox vaccine. Tonics later revealed that it had produced a smallpox vaccine with horsebox virus. Black Death. Between 1347 and 1351, millions of Europeans were affected with a mysterious disease that killed over 50 million people. Today we know this disease is the Black Death, which is caused by Yersinia pestis bacteria. Although the Black Death is still around, it is not as potent as it used to be. A few years ago, researchers from several schools including University of Tübingen in Germany and McMaster University in Canada recreated the deadly bacteria from DNA samples extracted from teeth of a victim who died during the plague. They got only 30 milligrams of the bacteria from the teeth, but that was enough to recreate it. As a result, researchers confirmed that the original bacteria's relationship to Black Death around today. Polio. The State University of New York created a deadly artificial virus by buying DNA pieces via mail order. It was polio and it is as potent as the natural one. Mice exposed to artificial polio got sick just as they would have if exposed to natural virus. The laboratory created polio was controversial among scientists. The researchers who produced it had taken its code from database available to almost anybody. Other researchers fear that people with bad motives could develop their own artificial polio, which is much easier to make than other dangerous viruses like smallpox. Smallpox genetic code is 1,85,000 letters long, while polio's is 7,041 letters long. Although we are already at brink of eradicating polio, scientists fear that we still need to be vaccinated against the disease because it could be recreated. Mousebox. A few years ago, researchers at Australian National University and the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization produced a deadly mutated strain of Mousebox by mistake. Mousebox is another lethal virus that belongs to same family of horsebox and smallpox. The researchers were trying to develop birth control for mice at the time, but they mistakenly created the virus. They inserted a gene that promoted the creation of Mousebox, which they injected into some mice. Instead of making the mice infertile, as researchers had expected, the weakened virus turned lethal and destroyed the immune system of the mice, killing them in 9 days. The new Mousebox was so dangerous that it was resistant to vaccination. Half of the other vaccinated mice exposed to mutated Mousebox also died. MERS. Did you know scientists have created a MERS-rabies hybrid virus? The idea is to use the virus to develop a vaccine that will protect us from both viruses. Rabies is a deadly disease that can be transmitted to humans through the bites of an infected dog that usually have the virus in their saliva. Middle East Respiratory Syndrome (MERS) is a new virus that appeared in Saudi Arabia few years ago. It is closely related to the SARS and is spread from bats to camel and finally to humans. MERS infected 1800 people at the time of first epidemic and killed 630. Its fatality rate is around 35% and for now we do not have any vaccine for MERS. PHIX 174 is another artificial virus we have produced in laboratories. It was created by researchers at Institute of Biological Energy Alternatives in Rockville, Maryland. The researchers modeled the artificial virus after natural PHIX virus. PHIX is a bacteriophage, a category of virus that infect and kill bacteria. However, it has no effect on humans. The researchers created the artificial virus in 14 days, yet it resembles the natural virus so much that it is impossible to tell them apart. The researchers hope that the new virus is the first step in developing mutant and artificial bacteria that can be used for benefit of man. Unnamed Virus. Researchers from University College London and National Physical Laboratory have created an unnamed virus that kills bacteria and behaves like a real virus. Like PHIX174, it is a bacteriophage but deadlier. The unnamed virus attacks any bacteria around it. Within seconds, it breaks into smaller parts that attach and create holes on bodies of bacteria. The holes quickly become larger, forcing the bacteria to leak their contents. The bacteria dies soon after that. Despite its scary potency, the unnamed virus is not dangerous to humans and did not attack human cells during tests. However, it could enter human cells just like natural viruses. Researchers hope the result will be used to treat and study bacterial diseases in humans. The virus could also be used to alter human gene. Bird flu. Some Dutch scientists have created a mutant and deadlier version of already lethal bird flu. Natural bird flu is not easily transmitted among humans. However, the researchers altered it so that it could be. To test their new virus, the researchers exposed some ferrets to it. Ferrets were chosen because they had similar bird flu symptoms to humans. 10 generations later, the already changed virus mutated again and became airborne. Natural bird flu is not an airborne disease. The study was controversial in the science community. It became even more so when the Dutch researchers attempted to publish the process to create the deadly virus. Although scientists fear that terrorists could use the study to produce a deadly biological weapon that could kill half of the people in the world, the researchers involved say that the study was necessary to allow us to prepare for mutated bird flu epidemic. H1N1 virus. In 1918, the world witnessed the arrival of a deadly flu epidemic. This was H1N1 virus. By the time it was over, up to 100 million people were dead. The flu caused blood to seep into lungs of victims. They released blood from their nose and mouths before drowning in the blood inside their lungs. The flu returned in 2009, but it was less lethal even though it was mutated and deadlier than it should have been. Scientist Yoshihiro Kawaoka took samples of mutated strain that caused the 2009 epidemic and used it to create a deadlier strain that was resistant to vaccines. This strain was similar to the one that caused the 1918 epidemic. Kawaoka was not planning to produce a more lethal version of the flu at the time. He only wanted to create the original version of the flu so that he could study how it mutated and was able to bypass our immunity. The deadly virus is stored in a lab and could become fatal if ever released. SARS 2.0. Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome (SARS) is a lethal virus. More than 700 people were killed during SARS epidemic that infected 8,000 people in 29 countries between 2002 and 2003. Now, scientists have made it deadlier. The new mutant SARS virus was created by a group of researchers led by Dr. Ralph Baric of University of North Carolina. They call it SARS 2.0. The researchers developed the virus by adding some protein to the naturally occurring SARS. SARS 2.0 is immune to vaccines and treatments used to cure the natural occurring SARS virus. The team said that the research was necessary because the natural SARS virus could mutate and become immune to our vaccines. By creating a deadlier and mutated virus, we could develop stronger vaccines that will save us from a more lethal SARS epidemic. That is if natural SARS ever mutates. However, other scientists are concerned because SARS 2.0, that is supposed to save us from deadly SARS epidemic, could start the epidemic if it ever escapes from lab. So maybe there is a chance that a variant of SARS did escape, or maybe the novel coronavirus did come from bats. But that is a discussion of a whole other video. For this one, that's all I had to list. Hope you enjoyed my video and learned something new today. See you again with a fresh topic and a fresh list.